Kieran McNeilis, I'm one of the owners at TIA's, and just to correct something that it's actually TIA's Waterfront LLC and not the Cronin Group. The Cronin Group is a separate corporation. There's nothing to do with this business, but we're associated with the Cronin Group. So I just wanted to come before you and let you know, to give you information on where we are, basically the project that we're proposing, and the process. So where we are in the process and where we are with the project. So we're proposing to add a second floor dining, so I suppose roof deck, we can call roof deck dining to TIA's. The capacity, which you won't be able to read there, is the proposed capacity is will be, or proposed right now is 240, and that will be broken down 162 seated between the dining area front and back, and 12 at the bar, and 78 standing between a waiting area, the bar area, and staff.
That's just for the addition?
Yeah, that's on the roof deck.
How many people do you see now?
280, 550
total,
including inside and outside. So the proposal is, as you can see in the drawing, there'll be a staircase at the front, staircase at the back. We will have an elevator inside for accessibility inside. We are proposing to have a retractable roof from third of the way back to the back of the building. From third of the way back, it will be enclosed by or where we are right now in the process, it will be enclosed by a glass railing. We're very mindful of our neighbours and the noise concerns that they all have, so we're working closely with a sound engineering company who are going to advise us in this process and through the process with the BRA and so on, and moving forward until we hopefully get permitted to build this. And right now there's a 6'6" glass wall proposed at the bar area in the centre, and a lower glass railing proposed around the rest of the building. So we have been to the ZBA, so the process, that's the project, or what we're hoping to do, the process. Thus far we've been to the BR, or to the ZBA, and that we have been allowed by the ZBA to proceed from here. So from here we'll be dealing with the BRA. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but just we'll be dealing with the BRA and ISD through the plan review process. So they'll be telling us what we can and what we cannot do. We'll obviously be taking, as I said, some of our neighbours' concerns, moving forward through this process with how we design the perimeter of this roof deck, and thereafter, when we get through that building process, we will then be going before the entertainment license board and the liquor licensing board to extend both of those licenses upwards to the roof dining area.
You have to go from the Parks Department?
No.
Nicole, they don't have to go to the Parks Department?
Well, they might have to notify the Parks Department, but
we already got a letter in support.
they have to notify the Parks Department.
I thought you have to go for a year.
The Parks Commission?
No.
Yeah.
We got the letter in support from, we have never gone before the
No,
Parks Commission, but they did give us a letter in support for us.
The Boston.
Boston Parks.
Yeah, we've not, no, as far as I'm aware, we don't have to go before the Parks Department. So that's the project and where it is, and the process from now. So we do hope to have it built by spring, summer to open it up. So
What level of the process are you? Have you approved already?
we're not approved. The ZBA, we got the ZBA, so basically the ZBA have approved us in here to move forward with the the permit itself. So through
So
this
they
process.
approve your drawings already for the space?
Well, they just approved, I mean, they're preliminary, they've approved, I suppose, the restrictions or whatever to go before the ZBA because we needed relief for a couple of things. So they've
What do you
approved
need
those.
for?
The FAR, I believe, was one, and to put a roof deck up there was the second.
Have you reached out to any residents?
Yes, we've met all three associations. The jurisdiction we're within, we've met them all.
What jurisdiction are you within?
Well, we've the,
We're district court council with me with commercial war.
and Friends of Crystal Columbus Parks. We've met all of those at least twice.
Are those neighborhood associations? They don't seem to be neighborhood associations, do they?
Yeah.
Well, they are, yes.
Columbus Park is.
It's a fundraising organization.
Christopher Columbus Park is not a neighborhood association. It's a fundraising association that has taken care of the park for years. The Wharf Council is not a neighborhood association either.
District court council?
It's a neighborhood association, it's a business association. Seems like it's a business association.
Well, they're
The
neighborhood
Wharf District
businesses, yes.
Council is a neighborhood association.
Okay,
So Friends of Christopher Columbus Park.
Friends of Christopher Columbus Park, and they're a friends group.
Well, the reason why we're concerned is because two things, twofold. We do share an asset, an interest here, which is Columbus Park. You know, we're all, many of us here in this community have been friends of the Friends of Christopher Columbus Park for many years and contributed to these causes. Second thing, as an association, we ask our businesses to talk to their abutters about the issues that they're going to bring forward. And all of us, business and neighbors in our neighborhood, we live by those rules, and we meet with our abutters. This is the first we hear about your project. We would love to hear about it earlier in the process, as we are in a butter. I mean, you know, I'm sure that Tears is a mecca for people that want to go to Tears, but I would say that the north end, the waterfront, you know, Long Wharf, are a mecca where people come to see us all. And as neighbors, we like, you know, in the future, we would like to know. Whenever you guys are going to do something, you know, you bother to talk to everybody around you except for the giant neighborhood to your side.
Well, we did come to you as a courtesy. Before we purchased TIAs, there were and are jurisdictions that have been set up whereby certain groups are.
Who sets those jurisdictions?
Well, I don't know. Certainly not me as the city, and I don't know.
No, we have one of your neighbors. We're one of your neighbors. Your business has a huge impact on it.
To the people that TIAs have gone to for
The TN's
22 years.
come to us for decades.
So George, can I just explain quickly, because we had a dialogue with Phil and Ford, and then we had one with Cronin Group as well, just for the record. Stephen Passing to the resident, not them, but mayor's office as well. So what we have going on now is that we now have the Wharf District Council, okay, which is representing the neighborhoods of the Harbor Towers, Rose Wharf, Intercontinental Hotel. I believe some residences on the other side of the Greenway. My understanding is that the residences on the other side of the Greenway are starting to form their own neighborhood group. So the Wharf District Council, from my understanding, is the Wharf side of the Greenway from Long Wharf down to the
I
Intercontinental
understand
Hotel.
that.
But Office of Neighborhood Services told them that to go to the Wharf District Council was going to be something that was going to be their process. They're going to go to the Wharf District Council, and then they're going to come to NEWNC and the Neighborhood Council, like they are doing tonight, as a courtesy. So they're not trying to circumvent you guys in any way. We gave them the roadmap to the ZBA, and that was part of. Excuse me. And that's where we are tonight.
You know, my issue is, you know, and you know, it's not a huge issue, but it's an issue nevertheless. You know, we are the biggest neighborhood next to Long Wharf. We are, you know, we're one of the most populated neighborhood next to Long Wharf. We are the biggest contributors to Christopher Columbus Parks that are just residents, average people, you know. And I just don't understand how is it that a much higher standard is set up for a lot of small businesses in the community than is set up for a large business that's adjacent to it, and also the fact that if we had a project of that magnitude that was affecting Commercial Wharf, Rose Wharf, the Mercantile, all that stuff, we will be asked to participate, or at least to have the decency to show up and give a heads up. This is what we're doing, so forth and so forth. What we like to do, I mean, what I like to do, I would like to set the precedent. So, you know, yes, we have different neighborhoods and we have different neighborhood associations. But when we're talking about things that limit in our frontiers, like nations do, you know what I mean? When you get to the frontier, it's everybody's land. It's not just one neighborhood or the other one ward or the other ward. You know, where that's where our, let's say that's where the north end ends today. Okay, we should be able to talk about that. Okay, because it's in our frontier. We share the park. It is, you know, we pay, a lot of us pay with our taxes, a lot of us pay with our contributions, So again, I just don't know where the city thinks that, you know, it's a good idea to say, you know what, meet Peter, meet Paul, but don't meet Joe.
Well,
All right?
we didn't say don't meet Joe. We said to come here, we were debating whether or not we were gonna give the neighborhood the courtesy, but then we decided that we would do that. We want to be respectful to the Wharf. If this was 10 years ago, we're not even having this conversation because the Wharf district really wasn't developed the way
No,
it
but
is
it's
today.
diplomacy too, you know what I'm saying?
I understand,
It's not the cordiality, or it's diplomacy, you know?
My
There's
question,
something coming up that's big, there's gonna be a lot of people.
But my question-
That affects everybody.
the only question I would have though is where do we draw the line? So Union Street, there's a lot of businesses on Union Street, Bellingham, so on and so forth, Faneuil. I mean, do we start having meetings with people who are gonna develop in the West End? I mean, at some point there has, we don't like to draw lines, but at some point we have to give individual neighborhoods.
No, I know, but this line cuts,
Hold on, let me just- one
this
second.
line cuts traditionally through a line.
Isn't
My-
this part of precinct 1, which is the north end?
Yes.
I mean, that's the bottom line, so I understand, and
But
I,
precinct, I mean, if you wanna get into,
Broad Street does
if we wanna get into
well, that's,
precincts.
but they're all able.
John, I understand what you're saying, but
bylaws,
precinct
able to-
7, I believe, or precinct 8, and
Well,
Ward 3,
well, no,
has
let
two
me-
neighborhoods.
Well, let me
so-
just finish, like,
It's the south end and
the
Chinatown.
north end, as it is in the bylaws and as, it, you know, as whatever it is, and as it's written for, to serve on the council and for those that come before us, traditionally have been parcels 1 through 4 and portions of parcels 6. Sure, over time now we have a Wharf district, and I understand that not, I mean, I don't think, we're not trying to argue whether this is ill will, like, oh, you didn't come before us. It's just traditionally you did, and we're just saying that we express concern that whether you think you're a part of the north end or not, as someone that significantly impacts the quality of life in the north end, that we just ask that you would just in the future come before us. That's all.
That's basically, it's not a stretch of imagination to assume, as you just touched at the end of what you said and what George said at the end of what he said, that the north end is probably going to be the prime destination once a lot of your patrons get out of that, unless they go to Chinatown.
And the same way the other way around, a lot of the North Enders are gonna go there for a drink, so what I'm saying here is simple, you know what I mean, it's just, you know, and maybe not to you guys, but maybe to the city, it's just it's good diplomacy.
No,
To have somebody come over, because, you know, obviously, you know, it just, we sit here on free will, you know what I mean, we don't get paid, we come here, we sit, and we offer our services once a month, and we meet for 3 hours, so forth and so forth. Now, if we're gonna start mediating little, you know, different wards and different, you know, different depictions of what neighborhoods are, we can do it within a neighborhood. Some neighborhoods are already doing it, it's happening in the south end, all right? And you know, and it's not what we want to happen in our neighborhood. And again, I just think it's just bad diplomacy. You know, we can all sit down and talk about it. We can all sit down and talk about it. Instead of getting this one, this is in vogue now. This is what is new now. Oh, we're here to talk about the project that we already did. We're here to tell you about the decision we already made. Okay, so it's, you know, are we against it? We're not against it, so for it. I'm personally offended at the fact that we don't have.
But everyone also has the right to appear at the ZBA when they
No,
show.
of
It can be
course,
from
of
many
course,
neighborhoods.
of
But
course.
I think the city should be careful in where we let certain applications.
But we
But
should have, I
Stephen,
think.
somebody at the city directed them.
Would you like the Wharf District Council to weigh in on something on Hanover Street? And you just had 50 residents from all the wharfs here get up and walked out, and Tia's was next on the agenda.
Yeah, but
I
we've
think
had.
that was pretty- I think that was
Stephen,
pretty
you
tough.
know
I
very
think that was
well.
pretty
Somebody's
tough.
directing them to the Friends of Christopher Columbus Park, which is a fundraising organization.
They are, because they're in
But it's when you
the,
just
they had
mentioned
that
that
relationship.
you're, you know, it's what joins us together, and you're
But
discussing.
what I'm
But Friends
saying
of
is,
Christopher Columbus Park, who asked you for
But they are neighbors, you know,
they're not neighbors.
They're not, but they're a group that obviously work on the park, and
I know, but a lot of those people live in our community too. What we're trying to say here is simple, okay? Let's say we're not in the same neighborhood, all right? We do have something in common, which is Columbus Park. You profit from it, okay, and we use it for our enjoyment as we afford it, all right? The reality of this is that the city should appoint them up to have a conversation with us too, because we have something in common, all right? We're not on the other side of the harbor, we're not on the other side of the highway, we have something in common, we share.
I take that point.
That's all I'm saying.
On the park itself, right?
Yeah, and you know,
You rent space.
From the park.
So
exactly,
you're
and
in
the park
which
itself.
is our park.
Yeah.
The thing that we have a problem is, you guys came as a courtesy several months ago, and we asked you point blank if there's any plans to expand, and you said no.
That's right here.
That's right.
So here we are now, and obviously this was in the works for a while, I mean, it's a pretty complicated set of drawings to send. So,
No, actually, this is something we already started work on a couple months ago.
okay, okay, but somewhere, like, this happened in June that you came, and it just would have been a courtesy, even if it was a courtesy before you went to the ZBA or anything, like, we didn't find out about it till the day before you went. So it's just not being a good neighbor.
Too, if we let just everything just go this way, that it's abutting us, it's just okay, it's just, let's not even, you know,
For
it's just
example,
like an
next
island.
month,
You know?
parcel 9 on the Greenway, which is on the other side of the Greenway, they're building a hotel. They're coming before us because they want to get neighborhoods input. That's much closer to the north end than you guys are. And we'd like to see the new ownership show the same kind of respect to this neighborhood and this board that the past ownership did. And
But that's, Katie, that's
I
never
can't
came here.
remember the last time the Tia's ever came before you guys.
You came here for an entertainment license, you had DJ, those clubs.
That's right.
But not as a vote, right? When
Oh,
was
we
the
voted
last
on
time?
In June, but that was
We voted
the
on
new
it.
ownership. That
Before
wasn't
that,
the old
they-
ownership.
Yeah, when Bobby came in front of us, it was.
We never voted on anything in when I was the president.
It-
Yeah, but
no,
you were
this was
president for a
before-
couple
this
years.
was- this was
And I was
before-
also on the board in 2006.
Yeah, this
I
was
spent
before-
more time
Stephen,
even
this
beyond
was
the days
before
of
you
being a
were.
president.
I think it was Aaron was president at the time, and it was Alba at the time.
And I was on the council when he was the president.
It was Alba.
But nevertheless, Steve, the point is simple, man, you know what I mean? If we're gonna let
Look at the line.
everybody around us.
Listen, I'm not.
I mean, that could be, the application we just had today for this could be the Wharf District too, you know what I mean? And you know, it's common courtesy, that's all it is, you know what I mean? If we wanna tell certain people, no, you
So
know.
you wouldn't mind if the Wharf District weighed in on what's gonna go in Lewis Wharf? Because I bet you the people in Lewis Wharf would maybe.
Listen, I wouldn't mind if the Harvard Towers didn't sit on every presentation that I make and voted for things that happen in North End that are miles away from the Harvard Towers, and we've had it for years. What I'm saying is, all of a sudden, the rules of the game have been changed. We have a parcel in between. The North End Waterfront Associations went all the way to the Harvard Towers, if I remember correctly. One of our presidents lived in the Harvard Towers. We have members of NEWNC who live in the Harvard Towers, okay? So what I'm saying is that it's something that's in between us all. I think it would have been common courtesy to come on board.
I agree.
And say,
And
come on guys, this is what we're doing. I want.
We're not trying to slight anyone, but, you know,
But
at
that's
the
the way
same
it
time.
feels, that's what I'm saying.
understand.
What I'm trying to say is that we have an opportunity now to set the record straight. We would like better diplomacy.
I would
when it
love for
comes
you
to our
guys,
butters. That's all.
I would love for you guys to sit down with the Wharf District Council and figure out what you guys want to do. You just don't want one association, another association. It's just, it basically pits two neighborhoods against each other. I'd rather.
But you know what
I'd
pits
rather
two
not see
neighborhoods
it.
against each other, Steven? It's like a diplomacy, brother. We share, if anything, a frontier. Okay, boom, that's it. This is where we end and this is where they begin. Common, mind you, their customers, a lot of them from the North End. Their customers are not living in the North End. You know what I mean? And
If
so
the
forth
line
and
is
so
the
forth, so
building,
it's not a big deal.
if you're saying that the line is Long Wharf building, they're in the North End Park, they rent space from the
Phil,
park.
it's first of all, maybe because I work not just in the neighborhood anymore, I take offense when we say North End Park. These parks within our neighborhoods, they live in our neighborhoods, they are City of Boston parks. And Christopher Columbus Park is beyond the North End Park. Do we get the most use out of it? We absolutely do.
But
We absolutely do,
the park is in
but
the
we
north-
say it. Well, I can tell you, as a kid, growing up in this neighborhood,
Yeah.
Long Wharf was not the North End. If it was the North End, it would have been Tia's North End, but it's Tia's Long Wharf.
Or was the park?
Okay, so it's never been the North End, as far as I know, and George may have a different opinion, he's been here a long time too, Ralph, some of the people who grew up down here, they may have a different opinion of where the North End starts and where it ends. But,
I don't think that's the point. Again, I think we're missing the whole point of the conversation here. I personally get offended when I have a city project I'm over present after the city project's been approved. Hi guys, we're coming to tell you we're taking your garbage out twice a week only, sorry, too bad we didn't include you in the
Well, it
conversation.
hasn't been approved.
No, excuse me, let me finish, you know, and again, for this is simple, it's just it's a legality. You come over,
I'm
you
not
make a
disagreeing with you on
presentation, you let us know what you do, we ask you a few questions, we applaud you for your effort, and we move on. By getting it after the fact, with all the projects we're gonna have going around us that are gonna be of a big impacts. You know what I mean? If we had those projects next to the Wharf District and affected the Wharf District, I'm sure they would wanna talk to us about it. That's what I'm saying. Personally, you know what I mean?
you're right, I mean,
it's-
Parcel 9, Government Center Garage, everyone has pretty much come through here, and moving forward,
And it leaves us in a much better place. We have answers to give to our community. When they ask what happened with the bill at TIA, so we don't know, nobody can more represent. It's just not, it's not a good practice. I mean, it's not a good practice in a city where we have neighborhood councils, one on top of the other.
And there's a reason that people are leaving the Wharf District council, it's because it's a commercial entity, it's not a resident association. But again, I mean, I hope that you guys will come before us.
So that's what we talked about, Parker, and we'll take it on board, and I, you know, I apologize, we didn't mean to tell anybody. We were given the directions as to who
That's not-
But we're not here, we're not against you.
Yeah,
We just want to hear about it so we can inform our community and we can move forward. You know, that's all, instead of us to the
I'm
back.
not saying that you did a lot of mitigation things, it's part of the process that we want to hear and give people opportunity to ask you. Thank you for coming.
All right, thanks, guys.